Hello and welcome to the Houston District Photographic Society's In Isolation competition, week 9. The theme this week is in the kitchen. We've had 8 rounds now and 2 photographers have won twice, and we continue to see some very inventive images taken especially for this competition, which is great. Judging this week, we have 2 for the price of 1. Jan Bond and Lorraine Green, our external competition secretaries, have joined forces to provide a joint commentary on the images.
Hello everybody. Following 8 weeks of fine professional level judging, we have something a little different to offer this week.
2 novices.
No experience of judging.
Just willing to have a go, so please bear with us. This week's competition has clearly brought out the imaginative juices of the membership. This is a very creative set of images and just what these competitions should be about.
All very enjoyable to look at. A healthy breakfast. The colours in this image are quite striking. The strawberries against the white of the plate, echoed in the colour of the edge of the plate. The lighting is well handled. It would be very easy to have eye-catching highlights, but they've been dealt with very well. It may have been better if the plate had been centred and perhaps move the knife and fork and then crop in a bit closer. I'm not totally sure that the healthy breakfast looks as appetising as intended. I wonder if a different arrangement on the plate may have been more effective.
Alfresco kitchen. We've been so lucky to have the weather we've had of late, which has enabled people to have barbecues out in the open in the way we might not normally have expected at this time of year, but which has been wonderful in the situation that we've found ourselves in. This barbecue, though, is different. I've never seen anything like it before. The flames are amazing. The outstretched arm creates a leading line, although looks rather vulnerable, and the food over the top looks as if it might be burnt to a crisp at any moment. I suspect it's an amalgamation of 2 images, one of the bonfire and the arm and pan superimposed. It's a very striking image. The flames have been handled really well, as it's not easy to photograph flames. I wonder if it would have been just helpful to straighten the wood of the bonfire at the bottom of the image. The slight diagonal just makes it feel a little uncomfortable. I like the idea of the outside kitchen, but fear for the safety of the chef, who already appears to have suffered a burn.
A taste of summer. This is a very well composed still life where the food looks appetising, especially the chocolate strawberry. The scattering of icing sugar adds to the attractiveness of the shot and holds the composition together, but the strawberry cut in half on the left of the scene does look a little bit orange. I wonder whether that could have been adjusted to bring out the red of the fruit a little more. Also, as with any image, text does attract the eye. In this case, the wording on the knife draws the eye out of the image. There are also just a couple of light spots to the top left of the image, and I know it's nitpicking, but it does create a slight distraction. But overall, this is a very attractive and well-composed image that I don't think would be out of place in a food magazine.
Dust fork and spoon. This is an immediately striking image, simple yet very imaginative. I love the way people visualize this kind of idea and then find a way to execute it. The monochrome suits the subject well. The highlight in the reflection on the spoon is perhaps a little strong, as are the highlighted dots at the top of the image and on the tines of the fork. However, that aside, the creativity of the photographer more than makes up for the slight distractions.
Easy over eggs. This image immediately made me laugh. It's very clever, well thought out and planned, and the execution works well too. Being picky, there is a small patch of blue in almost the middle of the image, but it doesn't detract from the cleverness and creativity of the shot. The image is entertaining and well handled. I just wonder if the lady is about to jump.
Finishing touches. This image reflects a busy, homely domestic scene with the figures placed very well within it. I'm not sure what the dog is sitting on. It looks like a child. it's probably its own bed. The highlight at the top of the window are a little bit strong, and the image has a grainy quality, perhaps designed to provide atmosphere, or it could be from adjusting for low light. The dog gazing at the food engages the viewer, and the angle of its head leads us into the activity that gives the scene its main interest and story.
Five-ring circus, the strongman. I really enjoy this image. It has immediate impact and is very amusing. It is very clever to have the idea of balancing the tomato people on the cucumber bench, and there are some imaginative touches in the image, including the hat on the tomato person on the right and the strongman balancing the eggs. My only question is whether this would have looked better shot straight on, but only the author will know the answer. Despite that, I thought this is a very clever, imaginative image with striking use of colour that should come with the subtitle of "No food was wasted in the creation of this image."
Floor level. Another striking image illustrating the benefits of moving from eye level and exploring different vantage points. In this instance, the shot is taken from a low angle and works extremely well with lead-in lines to the cat in the doorway. It's a pity that the cat is not in focus, as that would have been the icing on the cake as far as this shot is concerned. I think I would have cloned out the lever on the left-hand chair, just to give that a really smooth and clean line. But a lovely, well-seen image with lighting handled well in a largely white scene, and a brave person to show a kitchen floor and reflective surfaces with no dust or cat hair.
Garlic on olive wood board. The textures and colours here create a really interesting image. At first, it looks deceptively simple and attractive, but the more you look into it, the more you see. The delicate paper-like outer layers of the garlic, the way in which the cloves echo the grain of the olive wood, the detail and clarity of the textures and shapes throughout, and the way the lighting enhances all the details, including the darker clove towards the front. One recognises how much thought went into creating this very accomplished image.
Light aperitif. The first thing I noticed was that the bottle was empty. So yes, a very light aperitif. Seriously though, the colour, light and shapes within this image again make for a very striking photograph. I like how the blue lighting is illuminating the middle bulbous part of the decanter, but feel it's a little too bright and overpowering at the bottom and at the tip of the stopper.
Onion rings. The colours and textures in this image are really lovely, and I have to say, almost brought tears to my eyes. The strong highlights at the centre of the image, however, are a little distracting, and it's a pity that the yellow detracts from the purples of the rest of the image. The extreme macro has affected the clarity of the image, and it's lost some of the definition in the detail. Nonetheless, I love the way the author has visualised an imaginative and artistic approach to their subject.
Rapid boil. This is another example of how effective taking a slightly lower vantage point can be. The simplicity of this image, with its clean lines, curves, and interesting angles, is very pleasing. The contrast of the blue of the flame works very well within the muted colour range of the rest of the shot. Very well seen.
Round controller. Who would have thought of taking a photograph of the controls on a cooker? Well, somebody clearly did, and it works. The composition of the image, the control of the lighting, and the technical quality have made for a very surprising success.
Serve chilled. I've seen images like this being constructed in photographic magazines, showing how to create an image looking as if it's coming from inside the fridge. I've yet to see it actually realised, but here the author has been very successful in creating the viewpoint that you might have from within the refrigerator, even to the extent of having the yogurts and the eggs on the shelf above. I think I would either have liked to have seen more of the person's face or less, not sure which. The eyes are very close to the egg box, and a slight move downwards might have created an interesting frame for the eyes. There is good clarity throughout the image, with lighting and composition handled well.
Smiley crying breakfast. This is another image that really makes you smile, even though one of the eggs is crying from the corner of its eye. The texture on the bottom of the pan adds to the idea of the face, and the only distraction is the highlight from the handle of the pan that runs off the bottom of the image. The author has captured real character in the face and has created a very engaging image that wouldn't be as interesting or amusing without that yolk tear.
Spoon star. I've been trying to work out whether the author of this image had tremendous patience in arranging the spoons or whether it was technical wizardry. I think the former. Either way, it is a really lovely image. The sparkling highlights here work well to add to the effect of the star. The arrangement of the spoons is really effective, and the golden colour created works extremely well. A very accomplished image.
Star Baker. A simple idea, no doubt inspired by Great British Bake Off. I would have preferred to see a different arrangement of the star cutters, perhaps placing the red star in front of the green or even the yellow one. The lighting has been handled well, and the use of the reflection in the black surface grounds the stars nicely. There is, however, a little bit of lack of clarity on the edges of some of the stars.
The recipe said what? This amusing image lets us create our own tale. To me, it has a rather sinister story with its background of the knife and the worried faces and the idea it inspires within my imagination of what was written in the recipe. I suspect the little fellows are right to look worried. That said, it is a clever and creative image. It's nice when there's a story for the viewer to really get hold of. And again, the composition and the technical handling of the image is all very effective.
Time for a deep clean. It's a little disconcerting to imagine where this image was found in someone's kitchen, especially given our heightened sense of hygiene and the presence of viruses. The patterns created by the fronds, or should that be mould, are actually surprisingly beautiful, and the colours throughout the image really enhance and create a pleasing and fascinating result.
What it says on the tin. In this image, the viewer is invited into the room to look around, to see the posters on the wall, to look at the plants and the figures on the windowsill, to enjoy the flowers on the table and the pleasing pattern of the tablecloth. We really get a sense of somebody's kitchen and the homeliness created. The chairs just seem to be waiting for friends to have coffee and chat together again. I'm not sure that the image needed a vignette around it, and I wonder whether it would have been possible to just tone down the highlight of the reflection from the window in the posters. It's just slightly distracting. But this is a lovely composition, and you get a real sense of looking into somebody's home and getting an idea of the character of the people who inhabit it.
Where are the forks? This is another beautifully constructed image with limited colour tones used. The clever placing of the knives and spoons and the lovely background works really effectively with the colour range of the cutlery. The large blue frame creates the feel of a clock, and it all makes for a very pleasing, technically skilled, well-executed image.
So that's it. Let's take a look at all 21 images before we look at your shortlist of 4.
So, after much deliberation, we arrived at a shortlist of 4 images. 5 Ring Circus, The Strong Man, because it's so clever, inventive, and brings a smile. Garlic on olive wood board, deceptively simple perhaps, but beautifully executed. Spoon Star, a very striking and accomplished image. And Time for a Deep Clean, for its originality of subject, use of colour palette, and visual impact.
So, our winner. By a narrow margin, we agreed it is time for a deep clean, as this is a very different and creative image which we felt demonstrated everything we are trying to achieve with these competitions. We must, however, mention garlic on olive wood board, as this was a beautiful image and only just lost out to the originality of Time for a Deep Clean.
Excellent, thank you. And the author of Time for a Deep Clean is Derek Collis, so well done, Derek. Well, there we are. Congratulations to Derek for winning this week. Thanks to Jan and Lorraine for judging this week and for providing their own comments. And thank you to everyone that entered this week. Take care, everyone. Oh, and don't forget, I'm afraid this was not a blooper-free week, so stay tuned.
I'm not sure that this is written properly now I look at it. I might.
Who wrote it then?
Oh, it must have been me.
No, I wrote that. Seriously. Sorry.
I'll try that one again, shall I?
Right, take 29. Sorry about that thing.
Where are the forks? Is that how I did it?